troll is there again. This bitch, I want to figure out a way to get rid of him forever. You know, from him talking to me.
You know what,
Yeah.
trolls? Fuck you.
So-
fuck you.
So here we'll say, like,
We're out here risking our fucking lives.
so this guy Stanley Furman, this guy Stanley Furman is like,
fuck you.
he's a
Your shoe will go live in 5 seconds.
No, my show's live now.
3, 2,
okay.
1. Okay, welcome back to the show. My name is Madison Starman, and we'll pick up right where we left off. Chris, where would you like to begin?
I think maybe let's go to the like magistrate and the no bond and the no real specific charges against me. I was after I was kind of had that rough ride down to the place where. And it's definitely not a magistrate because under the Virginia Constitution, a magistrate has to be amenable to the people at all time. And this they were doing the opposite. So we got in there. The guy started making references and acting like he's my buddy and then doing playing another cop off of one another and all this other BS. And then we get into the magistrate's office. And the guy doesn't remember what happened. I pointed that out because he said that he immediately handcuffed me, and I told him no because he didn't have his handcuffs, and he had to wait for another guy to show up with handcuffs. And he said, "Oh yeah, that's right. My brain's not working tonight." And right during this hearing, and there are no specific charges. It's exactly what I did. That I was videotaping these guys, and that I was yelling and screaming and making a scene. That's what they said, and cursing and threatening. And I told them exactly the only thing that I remember that could have possibly been misconstrued as a threat by an idiot or someone who is attempting to take something the wrong way, like what was the guy? Steve Skinner, the guy who set me up at City Hall, who when he started going after me, he said, "Are you pointing at your gun?" And I'm like, "No." That's the kind of thing. Are you? Yeah, because I certainly wasn't making any threat, but these guys kept saying, "Are you threatening me?" And I kept saying, "No." But and so that went on, and so they didn't really have any charges, and I'm like, oh, and they say 4 charges. They threw out the obstruction of justice charges because even the magistrate, wasn't gonna put her name behind saying somebody's obstructing justice when there was no actual crime and there was no even suspicion that a logical person would think that there's some sort of crime going on. It's all on camera, and the video camera completely shows exactly what happened.
Unfortunately, they took it.
That's why they took it. That's why they took the evidence, because the last time they had to let me go because they weren't in possession of the camera. Somebody else was in possession of the camera, and there were 6 to 8 cameras on the entire event the whole time. It wasn't just mine. Mine just got the best shots because it was happening to me. And she said she didn't like since she didn't like the way I answered her questions, and she didn't like the fact that I stated my employees and my place of work, Virginia State Capitol, and Press TV America. Tehran, and the location is the CBN building in Washington D.C. and Tehran, Iran. Yeah. And that I go on. That my job is I make movies, I make YouTube videos, because this is one of the things that I want to touch back on this just real quick, because the fire department guys, as they were harassing me, which I don't care, I was getting it all on video, they kept insulting me and said, "What do you do? What's your job?" And I said, "This is my job. That's what I get paid for. And even if I didn't get paid, they would still be my work. And even if it wasn't my work, it would always be my right to film
Yes.
and to question the government."
Well, getting to Press TV, we were
And also,
on TV.
I was on TV 3 times in the past 2 months, and basically all I hit on Press TV in those 3 appearances, which are well documented. A lot of folks have seen it. A lot of folks have seen it worldwide. And I start stating that the police are a armed military force, an occupying military force, that they're out of control, that they act in an unconstitutional manner, that they are corrupt in every way, and the way they get away with this is because the judicial system is 100% corrupt and fraudulent, and it's nothing but a kangaroo court.
Yep. And they need to.
And it has absolutely no legitimacy. It doesn't have any legitimacy. The cop told me he was stealing my camera because he was protecting my Fourth Amendment right. That is a quote from him. This guy, Bates, who described himself as Bates, like Norman, stated he was protecting my Fourth Amendment rights by stealing my camera. He did say that. And
now he's securing your body by taking your weapon.
And he's securing my body. And he also said that, hey, your health is our #1 priority, as he is injuring as he's injuring me. And he tells me how he loves hunting and fishing, and do I love hunting and fishing, and all this other stuff. And I get what he's saying. But it's real cowardly. I mean, these guys, as Chris Lindsay pointed out earlier, they're real cowardly. But that's why I get these guys to do it, because I'm going after their bosses, and I'm proving that their bosses are 100% criminals. And they have to sick their rabid dogs on me. And it's a good thing that I'm not a big man as far as my stature goes, but I am tough and resilient. I've taken a lot of beatings in my life, so it prepared me for this assault on my God-given and constitutional rights, because that's the way the state operates. That's the way this unconstitutional government operates. So they said they didn't like the way I referred to the entities that I work for, because I kept it. Not that any of this stuff is their business. Not that who I work for or where I live has anything to do with anything. And where I live is of no secret to the Richmond City government. And
They find him rather well, don't they?
I mean, they know exactly where I am at all times. But no bond was set. So I immediately went down to the Richmond City Jail, where I ran into the intake officer, who of course knew me. He said he hadn't seen the video that Amanda G. Williams took of the end of the beat down, incarceration, abduction, I should say, kidnapping, but more accurately abduction.
No, kidnapping, because of the ransom.
Abduction, and kidnapping, and ransom.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
Let me talk to Glenn real quick. I want to ask him something.
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, you're on. I'm here.
Okay, hey Glenn. All right, so what were you saying? You were saying that when you were trying to get him out, like you almost got arrested?
Yeah, I almost got arrested for filming inside the jail, and I told him, I said, "You're filming me," and he goes, "Your camera is kind of what did he say? They were threatened by my camera."
Yeah, he didn't like what you were
He
doing.
didn't like what I was doing. They were threatened by my camera. Well, the first one came up, and the lady came up, the Bush lady, and she comes up to me and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm filming an incident." "No, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm filming an incident." She goes, "In here?" I said, "Yes." She goes, "What?" I said, "Yes." And then she left. And
And she did not tell you to stop.
yeah, she didn't tell me to stop. And then the big black guard came up and told me, "You got to get out." And I said, "What?" And he goes, "You got to get out." So I started backing out the door. And he goes, "You can't have cameras in here." And that's when I walked out the door, and there's this big droid on the side of the building. And I go, "What's that?" "That's a camera. If my camera's threatening you, what's that one doing?" "That one's threatening me." And then are you still there?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
calibrating.
And then I was outside at this time, and I said, "Well, I'm outside, so go back in." And he kind of walked back in. I don't know what happened after he got back in there, because I shot video outside that's up on YouTube and on my Fedbook page. So,
Yeah, that's another thing. I want to hit on the threats inside the hospital room too, because after a little discussion, all the intake officers knew what was coming, knew I was coming down. But
I'm gonna get a copy of that. I have the video. She has it.
We're going. They gotta check everybody's health, and very not very thoroughly, but or not very competently, I should say. But after clearly I was injured, on the way in, the nurse asked me if I was injured. I said, "Well, of course, yeah, I'm injured." And then I said, "Head, back, shoulders," and then I just lifted my shirt down, not even a couple inches, because I ripped my shirt off, which ripped my or stretched my shirt, I should say, to be most exact. So it was just kind of hanging off my shoulder, and she took one look and she immediately said, take him to VCU Medical Center. And the guy's like, "We'll be right back. We'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll be back." They're not even going to look at him. They're going to take one look at him, and they're going to send him back because they know he's a liar. And that's when they started injuring me more. And when I got in there were two of this guy's Bates superior officers, and what they did was give me threats. They gave me death threats in there. They gave me death stares and threats, saying, "We know you're a liar. We're going to stick you away for 5 years. We're going to get you on Project Exile. We're going to," and I'm like, "Man, you're not going to intimidate me. I'm getting, yeah, oh yeah.
Wait. Hold on, Chris. You're saying that they were threatening you in the room?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everybody knows about this.
yeah, they threaten you all the time,
Yes.
Yeah, they would definitely.
especially when they're off camera.
Well, I don't know if there's a camera.
Actually, in the hospital,
room, yeah, there's so many cameras. So yeah, we would definitely get that. But yeah, they were definitely threatening me in there. Insulting me for, asking me, "Have you ever played football before? Come on, that's, you folks sit their head on the ground playing football all the time." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, they're wearing a helmet. I'm not wearing a helmet, and it's also illegal in football to smash somebody's head on the ground. That'll get you kicked out of the game. You don't play football like this guy was. You don't stick your knee in folks' back, even though they have pads. You don't continuously slam their head to the ground."
This guy has a record of doing this?
He has a record of assaulting folks wrongly and having charges thrown out for violating Fourth Amendment rights. Yes.
Do you think these guys are all Freemasons?
Yeah, yes, they all are. All police are the Blue Lodge Freemasons. Yes.
The Princeton Temple Law, yes, think about it.
They are, and yes, they are associated with the the judges. But Freemasonry, that's just a small part of the all. That's a base level of the Hermetic Code. We're a little higher up on the ladder than these guys. These guys they're mostly just Satanists. They're mostly sadistic Satanists who have definitely sadist. But I mean, what's the devil? And I'm a Jungian as far as philosophy and psychological thought. But just the code of the devil. In popular folk mythology is the devil is the lie, the devil is the opposite of the truth, etc., etc. So basically, yeah, they just they are on the base, and they are the joke and the slaves of the real masters, which are the owners of the banks, which is who we really go after all the time.
We cover all that. Let's stick back to Now, I want to touch on one thing real quick. When I was filming, and they gave me all the crap in there, everybody had their cell phone with a camera on it, and most people were probably filming it. So I want to know what I was doing wrong, other than I had my press pass on, and they go, oh, and I said, yeah, I know what I'm doing wrong, and I specifically made that video right in front of their droid to show them I'm not afraid of them, and to show them this is what's going on. It's just, you're recording us, and then you tell us we have to listen to you tell us.
That's like the basis of everything that was going on. They say, like, they're all walking around heavily armed, and for your protection, they're stripping us naked and getting us to perform humiliating sexual assault acts. They're sexually assaulting and abusing us, and they're armed, and the only reason they do that is because they can, and nobody can stop it. And that's I did file charges and complaints for violations of my being persecuted for my political beliefs, which is a violation of Virginia law, being persecuted for my sexual orientation, which is I'm a heterosexual male, and I was sexually assaulted by countless men and sexually abused, and I would call it rape when I'm forced to perform degrading acts like in Abu Ghraib prison or in Guantanamo Bay by these guys turning around in circles, sticking my tongue out, squatting while naked, multiple times. And I don't have to do it once, I don't have to do it twice, I don't have to do it 3 times, and every time I'm saying, you're sexually assaulting me. This is a violation of the law. You're engaged in sexual abuse, and you're a rapist. So that's what I'm saying to all these folks. No matter whether you say you don't get any enjoyment out of it, or what, you're a rapist. There's nothing but rape. Every single person who goes into that jail is raped. Every one of them. And for me, it was multiple times. So I was immediately threatened to be killed as soon as I went into a cell with a cell in the Richmond City Jail, and then also threatened to be killed by an inmate at both places. The first guy was within 10 minutes. We were buddies, and we were praying together.
You should get into the 2 places.
Okay. So I was during the hearing, the kangaroo court hearing, I found out that they had dropped 3 of the 4 charges, and I was told that I must, do a bunch of things, and that then when I said I'm not guilty of anything, and I explained that all this is a fabrication and my property had been stolen and there's video evidence of all this, the judge responds by saying, I would hold off on that because there's a room full of witnesses right here against you. And I said, well, I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm not guilty of anything. And then he says, we're going to set the bail at $5,000. $5,000 bail for one misdemeanor charge.
It's not even really a misdemeanor.
It's not even a misdemeanor that they absolutely have fabricated in every way. $5,000 is a lot of money to come up with. And giving a bail bondsman money is stupid money. That's throwing your money away. So we had to come up with $5 grand.
Hey, $5,000?
Yes.
Yes.
We had to pay $5,000.
It's on the video on my thing with Amanda taking it out of the bank. I mean, they gave us the runaround, and then they played hide the Chris from us.
Oh yeah, that.
Actually, maybe I would like to talk
Okay.
about
Okay, Amanda.
Amanda will do this.
Okay, so I would like to just talk about the bail itself. The night when Chris was arrested, Glenn and I had been trying to find him most of the night, going back and forth between justice centers, making phone calls, trying to find him. No one had him booked anywhere. So I didn't even hear from him until about 1 in the morning when he was allowed to make his phone call. And when his bail was set at 9 in the morning for the $5,000, we didn't hear about that until several hours later.
That was set at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we didn't hear
We
about
didn't
it
hear about
till,
that.
On Thursday morning.
Right, and we didn't hear about that until several hours later.
The original abduction happened at between 6 and 7, I think, between 7 and 8 on Wednesday night. Sorry.
Yes. So, anyways, getting back to that, I had been speaking with his parents because, as many supporters as Chris has, not many people had $5,000 to help me out with. So, I was speaking with them, in contact with them, trying to get the payment straight. She was also calling the jail, trying to get directions as to how to pay the bail. So she was told to make a money order or a cashier's check out to Richmond Sheriff's Office, not Richmond City Jail, Richmond Sheriff's Office, which I thought is unusual the whole time. But so I went to my bank after the money has been wired, which is a difficult process to wire that much money immediately.
Yeah.
We're really just waiting on technology to show that these numbers are here. I get the check all made out at the bank. As soon as I get out of the bank, I have a feeling I need to call the jail, verify that Chris is there, and head on over there. Well, as soon as I call the jail, a woman answers the phone, and I say, "Hello, I'm looking to make sure that an inmate is still there. His name is Dorsey," and I started spelling his last name. She then interrupted me and said, "Oh, do you mean Christopher?" And I said, "Well, yes, I do. His first name is Chris." And she said, "Well, he's not here." And I said, "Well, where is he?" And she said, "He's not here," and just hung up the phone. So then I'm on a goose chase yet again to find where is Chris.
Shell game.
At this point, I go back into the bank and let them know I can't use this anymore. This is no good. I need it back in my account. The lady at the bank then tells me at that point that the money will not show back up into my account until midnight, which was actually inaccurate. The money really shows up around 3 in the morning or maybe 6 in the morning. So at this point, even though I technically have the money, I no longer have the money. So even if I wanted to use a bail bondsman that night, which, as Chris just said, we did not want to do, the funds are no longer available. So just by that alone, he is forced to stay the rest of the night, even though we have the money. So at this point, then we're trying to find where he is. Chris's mom is, I'm letting her know what's going on, and she's calling, and I'm calling. And we are both individually told by different employees that he has been transferred to Piedmont Regional. Piedmont is in Farmville, Virginia, and that's not close by. So then I'm calling Piedmont Regional, which ironically they were probably the most helpful.
The most helpful and the easiest to get through.
And the friendliest. But since it's, it's a couple hours away, there was no way that Chris would have been booked at that point. So, then it wasn't until later on, because I thought, okay, well, I guess I'll have to just wait a couple hours until he arrives and call them again. And then it was when I got a phone call from, it ended up being from Chris. It's always a strange number, like from Utah or Texas. That's how I know it's from the prison. And it was him trying to reach me. And I could hear it saying, an inmate is trying to call you from Pamunkey Regional Jail. Pamunkey Regional Jail is in Hanover, which is very close by. That's where my folks live and everything. So I knew where that was. long story, but lots of those phone calls were disconnected with Chris. Very hard to actually contact him while he was at Pamunkey. But that was basically how I found out that he was at Pamunkey, because none of the, cops or anything were helpful. So I'll hand it back over to you. But that was part of the whole process.
And then they had to wait 6 hours after posting the bond for me to be released.
And what? 2 shutdowns?
Right.
2 lockdowns?
2 lockdowns, and they said that they were not going to release me because I said I didn't agree to any of this. I'm not compliant. I'm a political prisoner, and I signed everything non-assumpsit. And when they bonded me out, I signed it again, non-assumpsit. I'm not a party to it. I don't agree to it. This is all a fabrication. And I'm going to sign something, but I'm going to let everybody know exactly what this means. I'm not a party to it. And then they said, well, we're just going to keep holding you in here until you sign it, or you're just going to go back. You're not going to get out for another 6 days. And I said,
we have a caller. I want to see this.
But anyway, I said, fine, do it. But they did let me out.
They were getting tired of me.
Yeah.
I want to know, do you have to go back to court, or what's your status now?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. They have given me a date, but again, they don't have any charges. They don't have probable cause. They are holding on to my property, which would exonerate me completely, and I just need to get my property back and put it out in public. And then press charges against the criminals. I'm telling everyone what it is. We're telling you. We're going to get the camera back.
Oh, I'm getting it back. I'm not telling you how.
We're going to press charges. 913?
Yeah.
Hey, Dorsey, I got a question for you.
Who's this?
Yeah, I know who this is too.
Hey, why don't you just hang up? Hey, who is this? Identify yourself.
Identify or get off.
My name's Matt.
I just hung up on him.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Oh, is it a troll?
Tired.
What's the area code? What's the area code? Was it 804?
I just hung it up. I'll tell you when if they call back. I'll just say the number.
No, just
Anyway, yeah. So I didn't agree to anything. I've talked to folks and.
913-662.
No, that's not local.
No. We want local people. We're local right now.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Sorry, we're local right now.
Internet number. Go ahead.
So okay, internet number. Basically, and then they stuck me back in a cell, because I refused to sign anything that looks like Chris Dorsey. Because again, I don't say I'm called Chris Dorsey. I don't have a name. For sometimes if somebody asks, what's your name? If I go along, I always say I'm called Chris Dorsey. I'm called Chris Dorsey. You can call me Chris Dorsey. I know I'm a man and I'm one of the people, and I'm called Chris Dorsey. My parents say my name is Chris Dorsey, but they also told me Santa Claus existed. So I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, nothing outside of me can prove to me anything else other than I'm one of the people. Chris Dorsey, that's quite, that's up to interpretation, and we'll get into that more later. But basically, I said I'm not a party to this. I don't agree that I'm not willingly, shackled. I'm not willingly bonded. I'm not willingly set up. I'm not willingly allowing somebody to steal my property and take my life-protecting and guaranteed belongings, possessions, and rights. So I just don't comply. I don't comply, and I didn't comply, so I'm not going to comply with their thing. Oh, I do want to say that the judge, he said, we need to get your drug screening started immediately, so we're going to put you on probation before your trial. And I said, as soon as I said, no. And then as we're on the screen, I said, and we're going to get this video too, I'm under duress. I don't agree to any of this. I'm non-assumpsit, and I'm signing this non-assumpsit. because that's not how things work. They haven't proved anything. Nobody's hit me with any charges.
Can't punish you with probation.
Yeah, until after they charge you. Yeah.
And they haven't. They couldn't even
prove that.
Right. They can't even do a quarter. They couldn't do anything that they
can't get a job
under the
with
law.
proving it.
They were violating the law from the beginning to the end. From the beginning to the end.
I still don't understand. Okay, we've missed a part of the story. What are they saying? Are they saying that you threatened their lives or something?
No. They're making vague things about threatening statements and things that could be possibly construed
maybe
as something that would make somebody want to attack me or something.
Let me pause. I just want to say, okay, so why is it then when I went to the police and told them absolutely threatening things that were said to me, and they said, well, unless they say, I'm actually...
that's the whole crux of the whole thing.
I do want to touch back on that J.C. Willmore incident where that guy almost killed me, and there was an eyewitness that said we were all going to press charges at the time. It happened at the, high-rise SunTrust Bank building in downtown Richmond, and this guy, the police and everyone else, because this guy's a lawyer and works for all the government officials as a political consultant, I had to call and videotape conversations talking with Richmond City Legal Counsel for them to even, and I had to talk to about 25 different folks about 50 different times to even get them to take any sort of action against him at all. I went down to a magistrate, took out, the eyewitness went with me, she made a written statement, she made a verbal statement, and this guy actually almost killed me, and he never went to jail at all, and all he had to do was pay the $150 or so. That was my bill for Patient First. And they went through 2 judges and 2 Commonwealth's attorneys and 4 different times that they started and stopped the prosecution. So, I mean, when I say that everything's sewn up, a fixed job, corrupt to the core 100%, and an absolute kangaroo court, I'm not saying this because I do a lot of research and I look at other... It's my own life. It's my own experience. And the only way that they haven't done, worse to me is because we have such overwhelming evidence that it cannot possibly be disputed in any way. It is a fact. It is a truth. Like the truth of the all in the Hermetic code. The truth down to its essence. What?
You have to get your camera back.
Of course.
I'm going to try.
Of course.
Monday I'm going to go on the warpath, and they are dealing with now.
Well, it's not that we're on the warpath. Well, I'll speak for myself then. We just need the evidence back that shows I need my property back, number one, but they had no right to steal, which was my body and my my property, what I've worked for over my lifetime, my life, my property. So I need my property back, number one, and also my property will not only protect me, it will also be able to get me compensated in every sort of way to show exactly what was going on with these crooks, these corrupt, dishonorable, I should say, because they don't have any honor, because the judge doesn't have any honor, the police don't have any honor, the magistrate is not a magistrate under the law. So we need to expose this. That's it. Expose it.
And as the press, I am FOIA requesting everything.
But that's the other thing, that the Richmond police, they don't even comply with any of the FOIAs.
I understand that, but they better.
We'll see. We'll see. And we're in contact with a particular lawyer through multiple third parties because there's not really that many folks that are members of the bar association that are going to that are gonna, help me out. I mean, that's basically it. But yeah, I mean, it's total crook job, criminal setup, violation of every constitutional right. And I'm not a corporation. I'm not a fictional entity. Can you go grab that document, the federal court document? I want to show, and this is going to be real important. There's one that's either in my wallet or also in the top drawer. So this is a real important document, and if we don't find it, that'll be all right because we'll get it out there. But I was a party and filed a lawsuit in federal court about against every election official in the state of Virginia, and it was in regard to election fraud. So this was back in 2012, and obviously we all know about all the election fraud and about how all the local voting machines have all been decertified and shown to be fraudulent and fake and making up numbers. But anyways, we knew about that before 2012, but we did file a federal lawsuit in 2012. And in the memorandum document, a federal judge, John Gibney, stated in a subsection of his opinion that he states Dorsey, and he writes the last name that's associated with my name, that's associated with my being, I should say, to be exact, prefers to write his name in all lowercase letters, so the court will follow suit. So they wrote my name in lowercase letters, they wrote others in uppercase letters, and so the court is documenting that I am separate. I am not an entity that writes. That's the court's decision. That's what I know already. But the court is following suit, which is their proper course of action. So they write all uppercase letters. That's because they think that I've lost all my rights and then I'm a dead body that they can summon because they sent me a summons. But I'm not dead. I'm alive. What do you summon? What does somebody normally summon? A dead person, right?
Demon.
A demon? Summoning a demon? I'm not a demon. I'm not something that can be summoned. So I've gone out of my way to even separate myself from that, all uppercase letter fictional entity in the federal court to begin with. And the federal court, that's the federal appeals court. So that's the higher court than the one that's wrongly, knowingly calling me by the wrong name and extorting money. So they just extorted a ransom money, they held me captive, they shanghaied me, and they got $5,000 for nothing. And they want to add more money to it. And they stole my property. And they did the bidding of their bosses and slowed me down for a few days so I couldn't expose their crime.
Cover it up.
This is all, the confiscation is all a cover-up of their crime. So, I really,
later.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I really don't see anything else other than another case. Don't worry
about it. We'll just put it out later.
It's out. I mean, it's lots of different places on the internet. That document I'm referencing, the memorandum court opinion of Judge John Gibney in the federal court case of Shirley Harvey and Chris Dorsey versus the state of Virginia Department of Elections and City of Richmond Electoral Board and registrars. But anyways, that's where you can find that stuff. The entire thing is a setup. It has no basis in the law. It stems from the fact that we're all bonded out. We're all, debt slaves The banks bond us out. I was put in bondage. When I was transported, I was put in shackles. So I was shackled and bonded. And I was shackled and bonded for no reason. And framed and set up and injured. And sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And I require compensation.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So, like, if somebody just accosted me off the street and threw me into the back of a car and then made me undress in front of them and then threw me in a thing and like roughed me up, I mean, those are crimes.
They are crimes.
And I think a lot of people will look past this type of crime because you're a guy. And it's harder for some people to see or something. But I mean, this happens to everybody. I mean, that this is happening to you more so because of who you are and what you stand for. And I mean, you are daily exposing corruption in Richmond. And on behalf of the Richmond Police Department, I'd like to apologize to you.
No, they need to apologize to him. You don't.
And your girlfriend, but to steal what was the $5,000 for, though?
The bail.
That was the bail. That was the ransom, as Glenn was putting it. Because that's what it was.
It was ransom.
Oh, right. That's a violation of the 8th Amendment. We were holding the United States Constitution. Oh, they also stole my Constitution and my Bible. So they're like, what's in his purse? It's my backpack. My patchwork backpack. Oh, what's in his purse? Probably dirty, filthy stuff. Yeah, I think that they would think this is dirty, filthy stuff because it's the Constitution of the United States and it's the King James version of the Holy Bible. So they do think it because they are the devil.
Yeah. And
they are the enemies of the people. They are the enemies of anything that's good. And as I stated to one of the guys, is ironically enough, one of the guys that was assaulting me was parked and menacingly intimidating Amanda while she was at home. He had his paddy wagon, Richmond Police paddy wagon, parked in my front yard when I wasn't home, and Amanda was home by herself. And as soon as she called me, and one of the guy that was doing that, he was one of the guys who assaulted me. And he's also, I don't know if you remember Madison, I know some of the other viewers and listeners may remember, I was assaulted by Richmond Police inside a church at the end of, the beginning, I think it was at maybe middle of 2014, but anyways, it's got over, 10,000 views of, this guy assaulting me. I confronted the guy who was sitting, menacingly intimidating my girlfriend inside our house, although he didn't know that she wasn't intimidated. But as soon as I found out, and like I said, I'll be right there, because I was visiting a dying friend, she went outside to take his picture and to confront him, and he peels off. And I got a description from some of my intel, which is some of the militia members in the neighborhood. And, we salute each other, whenever we see each other. But he gave me he was checking out the cop, and he gave me the description. And there's only one guy that meets that description. And so I confronted him. He was one of the guys that was in on this. Sorry.
Chris, we only have 2 minutes left, so I need to tell everybody where we can find you.
Richmond Peace at YouTube is the best place. Chris Dorsey on Facebook. The one with the picture of me standing at City Council looking, I guess as fancy as I can look. And in the background there's a picture of the registrar of the Richmond government, the voter registrar, Kirk Showalter. That one, not the one with the peace sign.
Glenn.
Yeah.
Glenn, where can we find you?
You go to glennsutphin.com. Is the best place that has all my information there, and I'm all over FedBook. So.
Oh, yeah. Do Google search Chris Dorsey and Press TV. Chris Dorsey and Press TV.
Yeah.
I'm most well known for something called International Banking Cartel. The International Banking Cartel, because what I've been paid for, not that I get paid much, over the past several years is I'm an economist on international television and a constitutional scholar and a civil rights activist. That's what they call me. I don't call myself that. That's what they call me. So if you Google those terms and Press TV or InfoWars or Before It's News, you'll find
Get the news straight.
Get the news straight. Constitutional Virginia Militia.
Patriot News.
Patriot News.
There's a lot of stuff we're all affiliated with.
Yeah.
And then, that's been very cool. And is there anything else you want to say before it cuts out?
It's been fun, and thank you for
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Madison.
for having us.
Thank you very much. As always, you are the among the greatest of the interviewers.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot.
Using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Well, okay. So
that was us on the radio. This is Get the News Straight. We're now live, and we don't have her. So you want to continue for a little bit?
Yeah, there was possibly a couple more places, but if they get there, they'll find it.
As you get all the videos together and read my article that I put out, like I said, Amanda had come over and came to me and you said they almost were followed. They followed you from there when you got Max.
Yes.
I did not know that.
They followed her over to my house.
That's
why she came to my
that's
house.
why I didn't
yes.
stop here.
Yes.
Because I didn't want to stop.
I was sick. I've been sick, and I went through all that sick. I should have been in the hospital, but I put it off to get my co-host out of the prison and away from the kidnappers. That we had to pay the ransom.
Road pirates is what I was calling them while this was all going on.
Yeah, extortionists. But this goes on every day. You know, we film it. I have video. We don't have the video of what happened. I am going to get it.
We are.
I am going to get it.
Yeah.
If I got to go down to the police station and sit my butt down there with InfoWars, without InfoWars, with the news, with the local media, the dodo fucking media that doesn't do any damn thing. Why don't they do anything? I contacted Kelly Avellino.
Let's get to Kelly Avellino because I did.
Did she contact you? She didn't.
Okay. Here's one thing that's important. I think is Kelly Avellino sent me a Facebook message, and we took a video of us content. So we videotaped everything. I did not have a camera today to videotape my calls to my secondary call to Channel 12 and my second contact at Channel 12 or 6 and 8. But I think folks know what's going on.
Okay.
But Kelly Avellino asked if I wanted. They were going to run a story about what happened and did I have a statement to make. And this was on Thursday. And obviously I was still incarcerated Thursday, so I did not get the message from Thursday. And morning, I got a message from Kelly Avellino Thursday morning asking me for a statement. And this is Kelly Avellino, Channel 12 reporter, and also...
But that was before I contacted her.
Okay.
That was before I contacted her, and I've heard nothing.
Oh, no, I haven't heard anything back from...
Nothing from the damn Dodo media. Nothing. Now, I have heard from other people. I had my branch office in Puerto Rico. Right. I want to thank Miguel. Thank you very much. Telly Blackwood. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Telly Blackwood.
I'm giving a shout out to Axel Rotten. Dude, get better.
But yeah, we do. I mean, we have seen, and that's another thing that specifically we videotape is the close connection between the media and the police department. Okay, and every other government agency too.
Well, yeah,
because whenever a local journalist, a local corporate media paid propagandist from the corporate media on a local level, whenever they move to another job, it is always as a spokesperson for the school board, as a spokesperson for the police department. Okay, spokesperson for the school, Henrico County, Andy Jenks. Spokesperson from Channel 12, now works for Henrico Schools as a spokesperson. Gene Lepley, former anchor for Channel 12 and local NBC affiliate. Now he's the TV spokesperson for the Richmond Police Department. Whenever we see something going on, like the media and the police, they plan this stuff together.
Yeah, like the PSYOP, the PSYOP known as the Ferguson crap that went on.
I'm saying even locally here, they got the whole thing set.
No, I'm saying with local where they shut down the street and they worshipped them and bowed down and fell.
They said hands up, don't shoot. They surrendered, the mass surrender ritual.
Worship and bow down and then fall down dead.
But what we did is we videotaped us giving legal lawful documents to Gene Lepley, and I always ask the police, have you ever read the Constitution? You know, that's the law. You know, they all give lip service to that, but they do the opposite of what the Constitution says. And we just want to point out, the media is in bed literally with the police and other government agencies. They have sex with one another is what I'm saying, if you can't really put two and two together. So that's what we're dealing with, and that's why they got to have like the right number of homosexuals in both, because you gotta, and there's a high level of those in both, but it doesn't matter. They all have sex with one another, and they all get paid by one another, and they just extort
money from those that aren't guilty.
Those who stand for the Constitution. They are the #1 targets. The reason they go after me so hard is not, and all of us so hard, I should say, the reason why they go after all of us so hard is because we were working the code. We're working the great Hermetic code, and that's the code of the all. We're all a part of the all, and we're all a part of the creation, and so our #1 goal is absolute truth and absolute justice and absolute adherence to honor and to serve the grander scheme, to serve not the grander scheme, the greater plan. Because we're not involved in any schemes. We're involved in furthering goodness, righteousness, and justice. So
I'm there to getting the truth out. I mean,
truth. Okay.
I'm showing you what's going on there.
This is
the news,
and it's irrefutable. When we put the truth out there, it's irrefutable, and we go at the top of every organization. We follow the money and we find the crime, and that's why they hit us so hard, because we're so effective, and we're not able to be bought out, and we're not able to be sold, and we're not going to sign our life away.
Yep.
And we're not going to agree to be complicit in our own demise, or we're not going to agree to be good slaves, because we're sovereign. I'm not a citizen.
And I'm not a sovereign citizen either.
The sovereign citizen. That's what they were saying outside
sovereign citizen.
The hospital room about me. Oh, he's one of those. He's a sovereign citizen. Sovereign citizen. Man, these guys don't even know the first thing about me, because one of my videos on YouTube is titled "People equals sovereign, citizen equals slave." And there's a 12-minute description using only U.S. Constitution, Virginia Declaration of Right, case law study, and Black and Bouvier's Law Dictionary. So there you go. They're thinking that I'm just like them, and I'm opposite day. I do want to touch on the further psychotic nature of the police, and the fact that this guy Bates kept saying to me, "Man, why'd you have to do this to me, Chris? Why'd you have to do this to me, Chris? I just wanted to get ice cream. I just wanted some ice cream." And then he would say that to the nurse. And whenever another cop would show up, he would repeat the same. "I don't know why this guy's got to be so difficult. I was halfway there, and you got to make things difficult for me. I just want some ice cream." And the reason why I'm acting like somewhat erratic is because I'm an actor in every sense of the word. I'm a paid Hollywood actor in a Steven Spielberg movie where I worked at the state capitol, and I'm a paid analyst on television, which I also worked at the Virginia State Capitol. That's one of the reasons they said that they held me without bond, because I said I worked at the Virginia State Capitol. And but I can verify. I mean, anybody knows anything knows I work at the Virginia State Capitol, and I get paid by YouTube for my work at the Virginia State Capitol. I get paid by DreamWorks, or I have gotten paid many paychecks in the past by DreamWorks for working on the movie Lincoln at the Virginia State Capitol, and I got paid by Press TV America, located in Washington, D.C., and in Tehran, Iran, for working at the Virginia State Capitol. So I have worked as a private contractor for, how many? 3 different entities working at the Virginia State Capitol, which is our property anyways. So, anyway,
and sticking getting to a little point about the Press TV. He was on Press TV like 2 days, I think, before. It wasn't that long. It wasn't that long.
It was maybe a week,
because I filmed it.
Yeah,
and we were on. And we were talking about police brutality and the corruption and come on, how did we have to paint a big damn picture for you? I mean, and you asked me how I know. I'm the one behind the camera.
I mean, thousands of people saw. I mean, like, it goes on live on television, international television, and then after it goes on international television, it goes on lots of different websites. Like we were saying, you know, before it's news, InfoWars, you know, they all pick up this Press TV stuff. And I've made 50, 60 appearances.
I mean, you know,
counting Al Alam TV, which is also reaches 300 million folks. And on Al Alam, we mostly go after foreign policy violations of the United States, and Press TV we do banking and domestic corruption and violations of constitutional law domestically in the United States. We've done international stuff there too, but that's and the past 3 appearances in a very short period of time have been about police brutality, judicial corruption, Jade Helm, this is all my arrest.
Jade Helm.
Yeah, this is a Jade Helm operation.
And also Durham said he was getting the guns off the streets. This is how he's doing it. Taking away from legal people doing nothing, and we'll trump up charges to get it off the street, but they won't take them from the damn criminals that kill people.
And I do want to say something, and I hope some folks are watching about this, because, you know, for all the folks that are in Virginia that give lip service to the Second Amendment, I'm really disappointed in you. And I'm going to look at the camera and I'm going to tell you I'm very disappointed in all of you, because you really haven't done anything for the Second Amendment at all. And you're really just liars to yourself. You're after your money, whether you're head of the Republican Committee of Hopewell, and you got your little stitch up money handout, from the crooks, or you're just getting jerked along and you're going along with it, or you're calling yourselves Tri-Cities Liberty Alliance and saying you stand for the Second Amendment, or because I haven't heard from any of you. I haven't heard from any of you that I've done open carry marches with. I haven't heard from any of you. I haven't heard from any of you. And you know what? I think that's pretty telling.
Mm-hmm. Either stand up now or shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you really.
But I do want to thank Amanda here to be on the show.
Amanda.
And
I especially.
We'll wrap it up here.
I love Amanda especially, and we do love all, and that's our code, and we stand for truth and justice. And again, all those who pretend that they stand for the Constitution, you can't look me in the eyes anymore. And most of you know you can't look me in the eyes. And that's the worst thing that I do to folks, is I make it so that they can't look at me in the eyes, and because they're really just pathetic, sad
pity for y'all.
human beings. You're pitiful. You're pitiful. You know, waste of a a human life and human potential, and you're all just living a lie, and it's not.
You're
it's
going
not
to get
good.
what you deserve.
Yeah,
And that's where I'm going to
good.
leave it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
This is
It's
Get
not
the
our-
News.
yeah.
This is Get the News. Good night.
God bless.